to my second To The Point video. So on this one we're looking at panel lining, a few different methods, and we'll see what is best. So I thought I'd use a Sharpie because they're cheap, that's just £1. It says it's 0.03 millimeters, but it doesn't look thicker, so it might just be the very tip that's 0.03. And for the sake of testing I had to buy a Gundam marker, which is the extra fine one, and this is a black permanent marker. Straight away I can see the tip is much thinner. These are apparently 0.02 millimeters. In comparison, and the other methods which I have been using, this one I've mentioned a couple of times. I'm not going to use that. I don't know if it's a bad bottle or what, but that's just awful stuff. And we're going to make some. So we have got some thinner, and we've got some black oil paint. I did try this the other day and it does separate a little bit, so make sure you keep on mixing. And that looks better than the humble stuff. Let's go ahead and put some on one of the arms. Okay, so I'm going to keep on mixing. It does look a bit grey, I think. There's a tiny bit of grey in there already and it's separated, but we'll see how this goes. Washing around. Initially this is working. We'll let them dry and see how they turn out. So this one you have got the option of putting it all over the place and then wiping it off. It's not quite the same as the markers. And then on to Sharpie. Let's give this a go. This is the budget method. Again, let's do one of the arms here. See how far the nib gets in. I need to give it a bit of a rub. It's got a good deep contrast. Not getting into as many corners as the wash as you can imagine. Just kind of drawing on both sides and leaving a white bit in the middle. However, it's not completely awful. And onto the Gundam Mark. It's made by Mr. Hobby and they're not cheap. I only bought this for the purpose of this video. And this cost me over £7, but you can get them for £6. Let's give it a go. So let's go with an arm piece. The other ones were legs actually, but they're so short. Yeah, it's definitely getting deeper than the Sharpie. Similar kind of contrast. Probably do it a bit more careful than I am. Yeah, this is looking really good. It's really down to the nib being so thin. So before the conclusion, I wiped off some of the oil paint, but it pretty much all disappeared. So I made a much thicker mixture, put loads on there. We'll dry that and test that one out. Alright, so we've done a bit of a tidy up, and just before we conclude, please do like and subscribe. I want to do more, I want to build more, make more videos, so anything like that is really going to help me. So in conclusion, with the oil wash, you can see in there it's already kind of separating. That's only probably 10 minutes. Oops. And it's more of a wash, so it does make the whole part quite dirty. does take a lot of cleaning up, so probably not use it on the smooth plastic, but in other applications it will work perfectly fine. Sharpie. So it's, you probably noticed with Sharpies they are not quite black, they're kind of a bluey purpley black. You definitely can see that there. With the size of the nib it doesn't quite get into the gaps. So should you use a Sharpie? Well yeah, it works. It does work, and it's really a case of the nib size. So taking that into account, the Gundam marker is pretty good. It does seem slightly more black or very, very dark grey than the Sharpie. And also the size of the nib makes a huge difference. And if you were to really take your time on it, which I need to do, then you can neaten that up quite a lot. So yeah, in conclusion, they all work, but you just got to get them in the right situation. So if you wanted to, like I'm going to do now, to panel line everything on here, I'll probably use this. The Sharpie, again, it will work in certain situations and I'll probably use it at some point. But since I've spent £7 on this, I'm going to use it. Thanks very much, and see you on the next one.